Good morning everyone. So today we'll be seeing how to create a static website using Amazon S3. Okay, so before going to the actual topic, just a brief introduction about Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is nothing but one of the services offered by Amazon. Okay, that is simple storage service. Okay, now coming to Amazon S3, so it is a highly scalable, high-speed web-based cloud storage service. So basically it is used for storage. Okay. Now how is it different from other cloud storages? If I have to say it is different from other cloud storage, how is it different? In other cloud storage, we just offer file-based or block-based storage, whereas in Amazon S3 we use object storage concept. So each and every application or data is stored as an object, and these objects are stored in files, and along with the objects we will have the metadata stored in the files. Okay, now when I say objects, we have to obviously we are storing the objects, we have to retrieve it, or we have to get some information about the object. So how to get a particular object? Each and every objects will be associated with a particular ID that is known as object ID. Okay, so whenever we want to access that object, we will use that particular object ID. Coming to buckets. Okay, now see, I'm telling everything is stored as objects. Now where this objects will be stored is a question. So obviously there should be some place where these objects are going to get stored. So where the objects are going to get stored, those are known as buckets. So in Amazon S3 everything gets stored in buckets. So first you have to create a bucket, and later you have to upload the objects or store the objects in those buckets. Okay, so there is also a limit for a particular account, how many buckets it can create. So maximum of 100 buckets only a particular account is allowed to create, with some variations, some extra permissions. It can also go reach 1000 buckets, but generally for a particular Amazon account we will have 100 buckets creation as maximum creation. Though we say that you as a subscriber, we can have any number, we can store any amount of data, but the number of buckets a subscriber can create has a limit on it. Okay, now coming to the actual topic, that is static website creation. Okay, so the diagram is self-descriptive, but yet I'll just explain this part, then we'll see the steps. So in this session what we are basically going to do is we are going to just go through the steps. Later when we are in the next video, when we are going to practically do it, it will be very easy for you to understand, because you have already known what are the steps. I will be telling what are the steps, what are the errors which you are going to get, how to rectify the errors, why you are getting the errors, everything. Once it is cleared, then it will be very simple when you do it practically. Okay, coming to static website creation. So see, first we have the AWS cloud. Amazon S3, as I already told you, it is a service offered by AWS. Okay, that is simple storage service. Okay, now here you can see, as I told you, whenever we are creating an object and using it, it has to be stored in a bucket. So prior to creating or moving forward, we have to always create a bucket. Okay, so we are creating, see the steps I'll just explain. See in this diagram what all you can see. We'll start from here, that is index.html, error.html. See what is our topic? That is we are going to create a website using we are going to create a website using AWS. So what we have to do here is, as a prerequisite, we are just going to create two files, that is index.html and error.html, which is nothing but index.html. We will have some basic code. Okay, that is just used as a start point to the website or entry to the website, and error.html, as the name itself tells, it is used for displaying certain error messages. So we have to store some error messages here, and we have to just store a welcome message or something in this particular index.html. So what, before starting the actual lab, what we have to do is we have to create these two files and store in the system, that is index.html and error.html. that is nothing but just create you know how to create HTML documents. Just we have to open a particular document, save the contents and save it as .html. Once we give the extension as .html, it's obviously created as an HTML document, okay, that can be opened in a web browser. Okay, now after creating this, what is the next actual steps? We are just going to discuss what are the actual steps. So first step is we are going to create a bucket. Okay, so we are, after creating the bucket, we are going to upload these two files or store these two files in the particular bucket whichever we have created. So the bucket, when we are creating, we should ensure that the name of the bucket which we give should be globally unique. Whatever name you are giving to the bucket, it should be globally unique. Okay, means no two buckets can have the same name in S3. Okay, now after creating the bucket, and after uploading the files whatever we have created, you have to enable public access to this bucket. See, by default, whenever you're creating a bucket, the public access to the bucket will be blocked. By default, it will be blocked, it will be checked. But as I told, it is a website, and website is meant to be used by public. So you have to grant public access to that website. So what you will basically do is you will uncheck the box wherever it is blocking the public access. Once we go through the steps, you'll understand what exactly is it. So once we uncheck the default box which shows us that public access is blocked, if we are going to uncheck it, what it means, this whatever bucket we have created, it's publicly accessible. Okay, that is the second thing what we have to do. So what I have told you, first you have to create the bucket, upload the files, prerequisite files into the bucket. Later you have to allow public access. Okay, then we have to tick on the static website enabling bucket. We have to basically, during initial stages, our static website will always be disabled. Okay, means once we create some options, by default it will be checked. Okay, or some options will be set in S3. So what we have to basically do is we have to uncheck or enable. Okay, so basically what happens is, whenever we have our S3 service, certain things by default it will be set. For example, I told you, whenever it is publicly, whenever you create a bucket, the public accessibility will be blocked and it will be checked. It is by default. Okay, whenever you want to allow public access, you have to uncheck it manually. Okay, similar way, once we have created our website, the website enabling option will always be disabled by default. So you have to go there and edit the option and make it enable. Once you enable the website, you are going to get, you can see here, you are going to get an address like this. Okay, that is, I'll just explain you the address. What is it here? Okay, so you can see here, http my bucket s3. Okay, you can see here website US West 1 website, it's given, which is actually website US West 1 Amazon AWS.com. So what exactly is this S3 website? There's a small okay, it's actually S3 website. So this is my bucket, that is the name of my bucket. You can give any globally unique name to this, and here when I come here, you can see US West 1. What is that US West 1? It is a region where your bucket has been stored. Okay, so where my particular bucket has got the storage, it is nothing but it has got the storage in US West 1 region. Okay, now, okay, so this, once we enable static website, we are going to get this particular destination address. Means using this address, anybody can log into a particular website. Okay, now after that, what we have to do is, we have to just copy this particular URL and open a new tab and try to visit this particular website. So what may happen if we are just typing it? Okay, so what you're going to get is, you're going to get an error. Okay, you per se, you will get 403 error. Okay, what is 403 error? It just means the server has accepted your request. It is understanding your request, but there is an authentication problem over there. Okay, so it's just understanding your request, but there is an authentication problem. So what we have to do is, see, we as I told you before, only we have allowed public access, but with that we are not going to get this error resolved. Okay, so what we have to do is, explicitly we have to visit the bucket. There we have permissions. In permissions we have to go. Okay, in permissions we are going to enable the website, static website. Okay, we have to go to the bucket. Okay, we have to go to the bucket, and in bucket we will have, if you scroll down, there will be bucket policy. Just if you see, it will be, there will be no bucket policy which is written. Bucket policy has to be written from our end. Policy is nothing but what all accessibility options, okay, we are giving to that particular bucket, that will be enabled in that particular policy. Okay, so we will write the exclusive policy for this bucket, which is nothing but, it is a policy for public accessibility. Okay, it is just a policy for public accessibility. Once we have done this, we have to just go through the previous tab. We have to go to our previous tab where we were getting error message. After typing the policy and saving it, once we go to our tab where we are getting error message, we reload it, the error message will not be seen and you will get your first index.html page. Okay, now just briefly I have explained the steps. Let me tell you exactly how it is done. Okay, so this is a brief description about how in S3 we are creating the bucket and we are uploading our object. The objects are nothing but, we are just, in this case we are just trying to upload the website, and when we try to access it without explicitly specifying the policy, we are going to get 403 authentication error message. And if we specifically again specify the policy, this particular error is going to get resolved. Okay, now going further, I'll just explain you step by step what exactly has to be done. Okay, see, first of all you have to log into your AWS environment with your credentials. Once you create an AWS account, you're going to get its credentials. You have to log into that AWS environment. Next thing is, you have to create a bucket. So as I told you, in AWS S3 you have to store this particular data. Okay, so first you have to select storage S3 service from storage. Okay, you enter the console. Once you enter the console, you just select S3 service, which comes under storage. After that, you have to click to create a bucket. You have to give the bucket name, which should be, as I told you, globally unique name. Okay, again I repeat, first you have to enter to the AWS console. Next you have to give your credentials, your account credentials, just like how you enter to a mail ID. You have to give the credentials, enter the AWS particular account, go to AWS services. In AWS services, go to storage service, and from there you just select S3. Once you select S3, there will be an option create bucket. Just click on create bucket. Then once you click on create bucket, immediately you get two options, that is bucket name and region. First you have to give a globally unique bucket name. As I told you, no two buckets in S3 can have the same name. Next you have to specify the region. Okay, so by default you can give like you can specify US East 1, US West 1, anything. You have to specify the region, okay, where your bucket has to be stored. Okay, next I told you we are creating a website, so it has to be accessible, okay, to everyone. So we have to uncheck the default option of block public access section. Okay, once we uncheck it, our website will be available for everyone. Okay, after that we have created the bucket. What is the next task? We have to upload the files which we have created. Okay, once we have created and stored the files in the system, we have to upload it in that particular bucket. By adding files and uploading, we have uploaded the files. Coming to the next section. Okay, now as I told you, you have to enable the static website. So go to properties, there you have static website hosting. It by default it will be disabled. You have to click on enable. Okay, there it will be, you will have edit option, there you can edit and make enable it, and you will get two other options. That is nothing but you have your index document, error document, wherein you are going to specify the file names of the files which you have created as index and error. Okay, then you are going to save the change. So your website is enabled. Along with this, you are going to get the address of the website, that is the unique address of the website using which people can access the website which you have hosted on AWS. So once you copy paste this in the new tab, as I told you, you are going to get an error, 403 forbidden error. That is nothing but the server is recognizing and accepting your request, but it is not able to authenticate the request properly. There is an authentication error. So for this, what has to be done? That is nothing but we have to create an explicit bucket policy. Again, we have to go to permission tab. There we have to go to bucket policy section. There we have to edit it. We have to go to our bucket. There we will have permissions. In permissions we will have bucket policy. There we have to edit, and we have to copy this particular, or we have to type this particular policy. What is this policy? It gives the version, it gives the statement SID, okay, that is system ID, and it is public read get object, means everyone should have. The star means everyone. Allow effect means allow everyone to read the object. Okay, and you can get object is nothing but the action which has to be which will be performed on S3. And what is the resource here? The resource is, see, you can see something bucket ARN. This bucket ARN is nothing but Amazon resource name. Each and every resource in Amazon will have a unique name, that is nothing but Amazon resource name. So how we are going to get it? Once you have the policy page on top, you will get the resource name ARN for this particular website, that you are going to, for this particular bucket, that you are going to paste it over here and save the changes. Once you do this, again reload the tab where you were getting the error. Once you do that, you can see you are not getting error anymore, you are getting the index page. This is how we tested. Okay, we have tested that our index page is working. Now we have to test that our error page, how it works. So what you do, after you type the index page, at the end of the slash, the end of the URL, type some random characters. When you type some random characters and press enter, you are going to see the error page which you have already created. So this is all about creating a static website and storing it in AWS S3.